All right, everyone. I want you to hear this. Ready? I want to see if the microphone picks this up. You hear that? You hear that metallic sound? That's because Body Badger's an Ironman. Oh my God. I'm so stoked, and I'm so happy to be sitting here with the man that came second overall. He set an Ironman record for the bike leg. Please welcome Matt Burton. How many medals is this?
Oh, I think 50.
Right, we've got to get a big round of applause here, everyone that's in the studio. It's fucking, oh my gosh.
It's going off in here.
So excited to have you here, Matt. It's done, bro. We did it. We did it.
Yeah, you're done. I'm not. This is, I've got to recover and get back into it, but well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mate,
Still wearing the hat? It's still
it has not come off. The medal has only come off for showers, and I'm going to be out with it on Saturday night, I think. Just making sure everybody knows.
Yeah.
But no, man, it was such a, I'm still, when I'm thinking and talking about it to everyone that's been asking me all week, it's like I've just had a massive festival out, and I've been out all weekend, and you've stopped and you're on the come down, and I just keep thinking about, you just remember things. You're like, oh my God, that happened. Oh, remember when this happened? It's actually just so wild, like when you think about the whole day. Do you get that as well?
Yeah, I get, because you get a lot of people say, oh, I saw you here, and your awareness of when you're racing, like the trick is to not look around, so you're not spurred on, or your pace doesn't increase due to
that was definitely
emotion.
Me, though.
Yeah, which is very normal, right? But as you season in the sport, you learn just to watch what's ahead of you. And not be distracted by support, especially when you come back through the town, like you would have known 8 times, running past family. If you're surging through there every time, it's very taxing. So
definitely. Yeah,
I guess we don't take much on, to the point where, like, I feel terrible. Some people are like, thanks for that high five. Like I wouldn't give them out to 500 to go.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm not looking at the people.
Yep.
You're just getting around it and trying to get
so
everyone involved.
Funny because we're pretty much this episode today, everyone, we're just going to go from start to finish and just be because it's so weird that I actually don't know that much about your race because you were so much in front of me and I didn't get to see any of it.
Yeah. Good story about this. Can I just share it? So when I won 2 years ago, I went back to give one of the girls I was coaching, give her medal.
Yes.
Right. She was about the same time as you.
Yep.
And I got there and she crossed the line and she was emotional. Give her the medal. 5 minutes later, how did you go? That's what she said to me.
Wow.
And I was like, I won. She was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But the day is so far apart.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's like we start earlier. So then we're already got, it's like a handicap. We're a head start
already. And
then you just, like you said in one of your other videos that you put up the other day, that I was finishing and you were still coming off the bike.
Yeah.
And there's people coming off the bike hours after you.
Do you know how much I was asking people at aid stations, going past my family, how's Matt going? Where is he? Like every single time I'd be going past and being like, that was the first question. How's Matt going? Like, how's he going?
They were great. It's probably one crowd support I knew who it was, the Magics.
Yep. Sure. Had the Ironman shirts on.
Yeah, and your girlfriend's super loud, right?
Yeah.
So I always have a go at Kim, my wife, about I'll go past and she's like a church mouse. Like, go Matt, you're going well. Like,
you only see them, like you said, 8 times out. Well, they get excited.
Yeah, at least pop your head over the fence or something. That's who I'm really looking for.
Yeah.
And also, I guess now watching for my son a bit, I did see the pram, so it means he was asleep at one point, which is a good thing for them. But yeah, I didn't see you on the bike. I probably wasn't even looking, so I apologise. But
I reckon what's happened with the bike is that we'll go into it when we get to the bike part, but I had to piss all the time. I reckon I was in the toilet when you would have passed me.
Yeah, because you would have seen me.
I saw all the other guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, because I saw what's his name, the McKenna.
Mm-hmm.
I saw, he's tall.
No, Backengar's tall. McKenna's tiny.
Yeah, he's tall. I was like, oh my God, this guy went past me and he's like flying, and I was like, holy shit, look at the size of this guy.
Yeah.
What was he at that point So was he like third, fourth?
He was winning.
He was winning at that point.
Yeah, so I would have been next.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck, I swear. Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's so strange. Anyway, I can't remember. It was so I can't actually think, when I was actually in the race, I thought about nothing the whole time.
Yeah.
So weird.
It's very different to training.
Yeah.
3,000 people in the race. So you scale that down to probably 2,000 people in the bike course at the one time. And it's busy, right? You train, you see 2 people in a 6-hour ride. on the paths here, but you go into a race and
There's people coming the other way.
Yeah, it's very interactive. Then your aid stations, you got to think about what you're doing. You physically have to think about drinking and eating every sort of 10-minute increments.
Yeah.
So you can pass time without knowing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like.
Sometimes too much time.
Yeah.
And you forget to have a drink or...
Yeah.
So it's more of a big equation for the day, which passes time
That's
way
literally
quicker.
what was happening. It was sort of like I'd be riding and then I would sort of be looking down the pedals for a bit and I'll look up for a bit and then I go look at the watch and go, oh yeah, time for a drink. Have a drink and then pedal for a little bit and then, oh yeah, I need need some...
Something.
Yeah, I need a gel. Cool. And then you look at someone come past and go, body badge, you go, thanks. And then I'm looking at the bike again. And it was just like this loop.
I mean, it helps when you have a sign on your back that says, I am Body Magic.
Yeah, that's right.
Big neon sign, just so people know. Like
I did not. I had your name on the back. Everyone was getting confused, going, "Why the fuck is Burto stopping at every aid station and struggling?" Yeah. But so like going from like I guess like start of the day for you.
Yep.
What were you feeling like leading up to the race? Because like how I was feeling was probably 2 days out. I got really nervous. Like when the first day I went down and did a swim on the Busselton jetty bit with everybody.
Yeah.
And I was trying to keep up with some other people that were a bit faster. It really like psyched me out. And I gave you a message and everything. I was like, bro. Like I felt bad for the rest
nervous.
of the day.
Yeah.
But then the day before, I felt really good. And then the morning of, I got nervous. But then as soon as I started, I was good. What do you feel like leading up?
Yeah, I always refer to that start of the day like I played cricket growing up. And when you bat the first drop or fourth and you're waiting in the sheds to go for a wicket to fall, it's that same anticipation. So I always remind myself, like as soon as when you get a bit anxious or you start to think too far ahead in the day, as soon as the gun goes off, it all goes away.
Yep.
You get these heavy shoulders, like Eminem didn't lie, your knees get weak.
Yeah.
Your arms are heavy. So it's only until the gun goes off.
Yep.
As soon as you start stroking, it's like blood flows to the shoulders.
That's exactly what
it's like a weight
with me.
lifts and you're like, oh, it's actually pretty chilled here. You can't hear nothing. It's just you and bubbles.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can just do your own thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's as nervous as I get for an event, Busselton. That's the 5th time in a row on the podium now.
So sick.
Yeah, it's the most successful athlete in Busselton in terms of podium places. So it's really nice. It's probably still a bit of a shock the time that I went, but it's
definitely.
Yeah. If we go back to that start of the day, I'm super nervous. Heaps of great crowd support. I love it. Right, you earn that support over the years. And I've been in it long enough where I love to have a chat to people, the thumbs up. My family know they don't say a lot.
Yep.
I don't need positive reinforcement. I know what I need to do. So I don't, need all these sort of pats on the back until the time comes. Like I tried to do with you, I take emotion out of what I'm doing in the morning. So it's just like, this is a session and I need to nail it, right? You're on the stage here.
Yep.
Like an actor going on stage, right? So, the days before, I actually had some issues with a bike wheel the day before, which popped, and I had to go and reset the rim.
Really?
So I was at the Duck with Jake in the morning at the Fat Duck. Saved my race essentially.
How come that happened? Just
you get a hole in rim tape with sealant these days, and it actually pops a little hole where there's a water sort of the wheels have a water hole in them, so water can get in and out.
Yep.
And but if then air gets out, then it deflates.
Gotcha.
So
that's
bursts.
what it did.
Popped the hole and burst.
As in this is when you're going to go rack it up?
No, this was I was 7 a.m. I was about to roll out to do an hour or so in the morning.
For everyone that doesn't know how it kind of works, like the day before, you get to like come and put your bike in the rack and you put your bags in and all that sort of thing. And then once it's in there, you're
organised for the next day.
Yeah, you're there for the next day. So like you're kind of doing all your checks frantically the day before and making sure everything's good and feeling everything out, making sure it's all good. So it was before that though.
Yeah, it's first thing Saturday morning. It's probably Saturday. Good you've brought that up. So you've attracted a lot of people, who probably didn't know what triathlon was.
Yeah.
So you go to a local race, super low key,
super chill.
Relaxed.
You just bring all your stuff that morning.
You bring your stuff and you put it beside your bike.
Yep.
You come out of the water. You put your cycling stuff on. You go and ride your bike. You come back in to where you had your bike. Still your running shoes are there and your towel. You put your bike back on the rack. Put your running stuff on. And make sure you take your helmet off and you go. Whereas in an Ironman, they almost build the nervousness and anxiousness because the day before you have to pack all your cycling gear and your running gear into separate bags.
Yep.
That
and
when
once
you
they're
take,
in there,
when you take your bike in on the day before, so that needs to be working perfectly. You don't get to check it in the morning until you get there. You rack that. You hang your run and your bike bags on specific racks with your number on it. But then you're in there with thousands of other people, right? So I get more nervous that day.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because you're thinking, have I got everything and everything is sorted? Or
I'm good at that. I'd like
just more the hype of when everyone's there.
You can feel the energy, right? The days before. Like, no, Hawaii is the ultimate in terms of the World Championships to where you're on a pier with 3,000 people. It's tiny. So when you're racking your bikes, it's like all the brands are sitting along in tents, ticking off what if you're using their gear. And so that's insane. But even Busselton, you come to this transition area and it's just this buzz. People know what they're in for the next day.
Yeah. Everyone, the thing that I couldn't believe, well, not that I couldn't believe because I did that triathlon the other few weeks ago and I sort of got the vibe, but everyone is so like, is vibing and hell happy to be there. Everyone's real chatty and everything. So like, I think like versus say like, you go, I play team sports, say you play basketball or footy or whatever, you don't really go and say hi to the other people at all. But the triathlon stuff, I felt like that if anybody was there, if you had a tattoo on your arm, if you had the shirt on, you sort of give each other hey, how you going? Like, the vibes are really high for it.
You're not competing against one another. You're just racing together to achieve the same goal, right? It's the end goal. So even from a pro point of view, you're very aware of what one another can do.
Yeah.
But everyone's training's been different. Everyone's injuries may be different. So you can never, it's the same for us as it is for age groupers. You need to focus on yourself, right? So it's a very individual day. But we're all still in the morning. It's that same feeling. Like these are big days. You do the half distance and then you cross up to do a full, then you understand.
Yeah.
Like you've just gone to skip that. You did a sprint distance and now you've done an Ironman. Nothing will fulfill that.
Yeah.
Right. For me, I don't get the fulfillment from doing a half. I'm not saying that the half distance isn't hard.
But like just for your capacity that you can do and the euphoria that you feel
just
after
the mental
and how hard you have to push for it. It just doesn't get you going. Yeah.
You get emotional at the end.
Yep.
More so because your body's so happy it gets to stop. Like I've actually read into this and understand it a bit more, but that's the euphoria from a physical point of view. And then mentally, you're just happy to be able to like, I did it. It's finished. Like the goal's achieved. But yeah, physically your body is so exhausted. You've been eating muscle for so long that your legs are happy they get to sit down very soon.
It's exactly how mine
Stop
would feel.
moving.
I think I was holding on to you and when we were walking back into the thing after the race, I was just like, can I please sit down now?
I got half an hour to go and I was like, I can't wait to sit down.
Yeah.
And then you got to like wipe that thought, let go of that thought, get into it. You still got to finish.
What I couldn't believe with the swim was how chaotic it is in the water because like there's how it works for the amateur ones. I mean, the pros are, right out in front, so you don't have this sort of issue. But because of all the waves of people, you sort of get caught up with the, the people that have gone, the
I think they're faster than they are or
Yep. So then it's this big merge of like just chaos in the water and there's people swimming over the top of me.
And always at the turning buoys.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. It's very...
It gets clogged up there. Yeah.
Aggressive at the turning buoys. Right. People don't mean to be aggressive.
But that's just what happens. And like when you're for me anyway, in the water, I think it's probably from some childhood trauma with my cousin that used to, pretend to drown. Dunk me underwater. But if somebody touches me in the water... it does something to me like this and I'm like, fucking get away from me.
Yeah.
So like I'm in the water, I literally got my ankles grabbed, like my whole hand of somebody around my ankles like 2 or 3 times. You're kicking them off, they're coming over the top of you. It was so crazy. And then what I was finding as well was I was like, all right, Gerard, don't look, just get to the boys or whatever. And I didn't actually know the day before when I did that swim, they hadn't actually put those boys out just yet. And I didn't actually know where exactly to go. So I'm sort of, swimming and just following the, following the crowd. But I thought, okay, don't look down at your watch to see how far you've gone. Just swim. Just see how far you can get. So I'm swimming. And I thought, oh my God, I must have done 2Ks by now. I looked down, it's like 800 meters. I'm like,
the worst thing you can do, I don't wear a watch in the swim. The worst thing you do is check. It's like you got to know your 2Ks to get out of the beach because there's an Aussie exit. So for anyone who doesn't know, an Aussie exit is from the like Aussie surf days and currently where you swim, open water swim, and you run out around a buoy or a can that's on the beach, run back in, dive in, do another lap one. Or do another segment. So they do that in Busselton.
Yep.
It's one of the very few in the world, right, where you do. It's really cool.
I thought it was good because it gives you, like for me swimming, even if I'm doing it at the pool or whatever, if I have like 20 seconds break, I feel so fresh again and then you go again. It's not kind of like running where it just gets worse and worse. If I have even a real quick break on the arms, they feel good to go again. So
and it's when you're, horizontal for an hour straight, an hour of 20 straight, you stand up and you typically will fall over because you need blood to come to the legs. Whereas when you've had that break during the middle, it's nowhere near as bad.
Better. Yeah. And you get everyone on the beach just yelling at you
get
and
around
everything.
it.
So it was like real good. So how long did you do your swim in?
We're 52.
52.
With the group. Gosh. So I had a first group and I was in the second group. So it broke up pretty quickly. The takeout speed for the better swimmers is just too quick for us non-swimmers but fit athletes to go with.
So like with you, so the swim, so there's people ahead of you for the swim, but obviously you've just gone and caught up and killing them in the bike. So like, are you consciously knowing that going, okay, cool, for the swim, I'm just going to hang back a little bit here. And then when I know that when I get to the transition into the bike, I'm able to catch up a bit. Is that kind of how you're seeing that? Or
so
what do you do?
You can draft swimming, right?
Yeah.
So if you sit on people's toes, you save a significant amount of energy.
Yeah.
To the point where I would say I swam too easy. Mm-hmm. It was the easiest 3.0K swim I've ever had.
Yeah.
It was fantastic because the guy who was
leading
leading
the conditions were kind of hard as well?
Yeah.
It's fucking hard.
Yes, but the guy leading us, he was doing an honest job. So I was like, I'm happy to chill out. There was another 2 guys with us. And when we got out the turnaround, one of the young guys from here who finished third for the day, Nick Thompson, he was with me. So I was like, it's not a bad guy to have because he can ride a bike.
Yep.
And he runs well. But I didn't know the gap to the front at the time. And then when we got out of into transition, I was like, they were like 4 minutes 10 or something to the front group. And I was like, whoa, that's a fair gap. And we're the second group, right?
Yep.
So if I had have come out of that group and given it everything I have, I use a substantial amount of energy, right, early in the day. And I may have only got 30 seconds on the guys I was swimming with. Mm-hmm. Whereas I go and save
so much more energy.
60-70% energy.
So then you go and pump the shit out of the bike.
Yeah, and then I can relax into the bike.
Yep.
So that's where it's tactical. You know, swims when they're calm and the group's bigger.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be as far back. But it's just the nature of the day. And then the guy leading just chills out a bit sometimes, so it slows up. And then you hit all the age groupers on our second lap, so it gets busy, lose more time. So it is what it is, right? I'm not a born swimmer, but I'm happy how I'm swimming at the moment. And then work sort of starts when you get on land.
Yeah, definitely. Well, the swim for me, I thought I was cruising through the whole swim.
Yep.
Like I think I looked at my heart rate. I think it was like 125.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
saw you coming out around the Aussie exit or the video you put up, like high-fiving everybody.
No, I was super chilled. I was actually just like...
That wasn't in the race plan, but...
Yeah. I reckon I could have wiped off half an hour if I didn't...
Oh, yeah, 100%. We'll go through this.
If I didn't high-five everyone. But I felt just so comfortable and chilled. And from the second that I started, from the swim all the way through to the end of the bike and probably the first lap of the run, I was so happy. Like, I was actually so happy. Like, I was like just smiling, just thinking, oh my God, this is so good. Like, this is the day. Like, I was just enjoying it so much. Yeah. And like, it didn't feel like it went really long.
No, it doesn't.
No.
That's the difference, right? It feels ages for your spectators, for your family and friends. They're all like super sunburnt and stuff, but you tend to come up okay.
Yeah.
Other than the terrible sleep from the aching body.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. And then got out and then into the transition. I took that super chilled as well. Like,
I saw that. Like, you were waving to people that weren't even calling it.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, cool. Get in there. Put my shoes on.
Did you say body magic?
And then I got into that. And then once I got into the bike again was just like super cruisy. My heart rate didn't go over 130 the entire time.
So you didn't try. But you know what my dad actually asked me is, do people call him Bloody Majic?
Bloody Majic?
I was like, no, Dad, it's Body Magic.
Body Magic.
Oh, the old fellas. I don't quite hear what's going on. Yeah.
But yeah, I just took it. It was just so crazy. But I just thought, just save all your tickets until the run. And like you were telling me, just enjoy it as much as you can. Just like, you know.
Did you come off around your second lap and you come through town?
Yep.
Did you stop again? Have a chat to the family?
Fucking oath I did.
That wasn't in the race plan.
Well, they're all there. I was like, what's 2 minutes? I'll jump off.
I'm surprised your girlfriend Beck didn't jump out on course. She was that happy to be there. This is the happiest Ironman spectator I've ever seen, mate.
Do you know what? She has been on more of a come down than I have since doing.
She's still cooking your dinner though, or is Mum doing that still?
No, Beck doesn't cook any dinners. No. But no, she had she had such a good day. Everyone, but so funny you say that like, it's a long day for the spectators. It is, but everybody said, oh, it didn't feel like a long day at all because they were yelling at me, they're yelling at you, they're yelling at Bakes.
Yeah, they're having a sweet brekkie at one of the Goose, then they're having lunch at the shelter.
They're having a great time.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, they're
knocking
all
the top
of them,
off a couple at 12.
All of them have said, Gerard, when are you doing another one? That was hell fun. I'm like, fuck off. Like, that was so hard. Like, so how's the ride for you? Tell me, because you broke the record. What did you do in 3:57?
59.
59.
Yeah, 3:59 flat, or just tick over.
That is but so that's like riding like 45 Ks or a little bit more.
Just a bit more.
Yeah, more than an hour.
But it's a ninth start for me there, and I feel it's probably as much as I've struggled on the bike, especially the first couple of hours.
Yep.
I was really fortunate to have young Nick with me, just keeping me honest. We're not allowed to draft in the sport, but you can definitely use one another. You've got to sit 12 metres back, and he was riding hard through some segments in the first lap where I was almost gone. Like, I was dropping back 30 metres. My head was starting to roll a bit, and I was like, come on, if I'm isolated here, I'm not in a good way. My legs felt okay. I just actually felt a bit flat. So then, I was just strip it back to, okay, calories, carbs, get the numbers in, get some nice cold water on you through an aid station. And then I sort of give him a little bit of a help on the first lap. It took a bit of a turn, and I was still riding okay. We were moving fast, right? We went through the first hour at 47 k an hour.
Yep. Oh, that's ridiculous.
We took heaps of time back. So we were down
and just to put that into context of how quick I ride, and that's my best thing, I think, is the bike. I'm running at like 30 kilometers an hour, maybe just a little bit less, and you're riding at 45 or 47.
47 for that
which
first
is just
hour.
Mental.
Yeah.
Like,
so I actually had to tell Nick to chill out a little bit because he's new to this distance. So the youthful energy is great, but it also becomes very taxing late, regardless of how fit you are. So
what'd you say to him? You were just like, oh,
relax. Yeah. We're taking a lot of time back early. Yeah. We're taking minutes back every 10 to 15 Ks, which is significant, right? There's 6-7 guys in the front bunch, in that front group. There's 2 of us. And I wasn't much help. So, but I had this belief I'd had such a good training period. It'll come, just hang in there, like hang tough for a little bit. And then we come into town. The gap stabilised a little bit when one of the guys attacked in the front group. So it opened back up. We got it down to a minute 20. Probably went back to 2 minutes. And that's when you need to really stay super strong. Right, because if you're like, oh, it's gone, the race is gone. And we were coming to town, and then their efforts can only be so much as well, right, for a period of time if they're going to attack. And we were going back out. It's almost
just like out surviving. I've sort of found with like, so even like, not that it's a race like that, but say if I've been out on the road or whatever doing a training session, even I'm trying to keep up with some of that. We're sort of going, you go, I go kind of thing, or trying to keep up. It's a little bit of, okay, how long can I actually keep up this effort to see when he's going to drop mentally a little bit, which I'm sure it's exactly the same when you're in the top and leading the group.
Yeah, and I really came into my own on the second lap where then I was able to be the driver. Yep. And I was happy to support him through that back bit, and we started to pick people off, and the gap came right back down to the point where I caught Daniel, who won the race, Backengard, a Danish fella who had an amazing race, right? But I caught him coming right into town. Nick sort of dangled off probably 10k to go. Just that, it becomes a long time on the bike.
Absolutely.
Effort, right? And the old course record was mine, 4:05. Right?
That is
ridiculous. Nick dangled off the back of me. He rode 4 hours. It's incredible, right? He will never get enough credit for
how good that was.
How good. 4 hours and 1 second.
Holy
right?
Shit.
So I ride 3:59. I always believe I could do it, but doing it on a day where I definitely didn't felt like I'd done it.
That was huge.
Massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you think of the conditions riding? Because I felt like it was just swirly. Yeah. Like it didn't matter where. So like when you ride down a road, or say if I do the Mandurah one that I usually do, either one way, I'm usually going to get the wind back. If I'm either starting with my head into it, then I'll get it on the way back, or vice versa. But I kind of felt like the whole time there wasn't really that much wind that was like helping me too much. Probably because I was I was obviously much later than you as well. So like it really sort of picked up in the middle of the day there a little bit. But I just kind of felt like there was no wind that was really helping. I just felt like I was either at the side of it the whole time or at the front of me the whole time. So
yeah, so you had a tailwind going out for the first 10K.
Yeah.
And then it had the way you swing around in the Cape, right, in the bay in Busselton. So then when you go out to the back end of the forest, you almost have more of a cross breeze. So then the forest acts as a funnel, and it actually then just swirls through the trees.
That's exactly what I was feeling. It just felt like it was just like...
the pace was even both ways. So it was like, okay, just ride 45K now.
Yep. Then every aid station, I needed to stop and piss every single one. I couldn't believe it. And I think I was scarred from the other week. Yeah, right. Being like, I have to be on top of the hydration. I don't want that to happen. It down. And I was just going, yep, cool, like Gatorade, water. It probably the carb loading as well, and all the stuff I was 100%. Drinking a few days before. Yeah. That was, probably just storing me up big time. Yeah. But I had to stop and it wasn't even, it was an inconvenience. Like I was like, fuck, this is really annoying, because you get into a bit of a groove and you're like, okay, I just want to get it done. And then I'm like, I have to stop because the bikes,
Did you think about just having a piss?
I'll be honest.
You did?
I did
once.
one.
How'd you go?
It was hard. Yeah. It was only about, so I'd done the first aid station. Yep. And I stopped and peed there. And then I went going to the second one, and I was like, no, I was like, you're not stopping twice. You've been on the bike for like an hour or something. I was like, you're not stopping again. There's no way. So no, just keep going. So then I kept going, but that was a mistake because it was just sitting there, and I could hardly get my legs up like that because it was just pushing. And I was like, oh no. And I'm like, how far? Oh no, there's still ages. Yeah. I was like, no, I have to just release the valve a little bit here. So like I get the water bottle out for like, I get that away, and piss all over it. And then it's so hard to do though. Yeah. Because like your bike pants are like pressing up on you. You can't actually like force it through. And I'm like, I just need just a quarter of this out and I'll be good. And I did about a quarter, and then I was like, yeah, cool. And then it got me to the next aid station. And I was like, oh my God, I just pissed myself by the corner. I said I was not going to do that.
What we spoke about in the early days.
I was like, oh my God. But
you're an Ironman. There you
go. But yeah, that was pretty foul. So, and then like again, it was just more like on the bike. I didn't think about much for the first 90. The first 90 was cruisy. Yeah. And then I went and chatted to everyone for a little bit. But it was so funny, all the people that are out on the course, like they're set up for the day. They've got they got their forward drive and their camping set up, and they got their music cranking. And like, I couldn't, like, just the supporters that you didn't even know who they were, that are just there for the day. Yeah. Everybody's clapping you. Everyone's yelling. Like, you got they're yelling for everyone. Yeah. And they come past. It was just so cool. Yeah. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah. All the little houses you pop past early in town, and even some of the bigger places out on the Forest Beach Road, the first dog leg, they just, sit out in the deck chairs out. And
when I came past for the second lap, after I've just seen everyone, I'm going into the next bit. And you know how Boston's just got old people down there on their little gophers, everywhere. So there's this guy on the gopher that's like going along the path, and I'm cruising down, and I feel a little buzzed up. I've just seen everyone, so I'm back into the second lap. And then this guy on the gophers on the side, and he's got this little black Shih Tzu puppy thing, and he's probably only, 1.5 meters away from me. This dog bolts straight in front of me, full, like, screeched the brakes, almost fell over.
Yeah, right.
I was like, fuck. Just out of town. And all the people on the road were like, oh shit, they all ran, grabbed this dog, took it off. Like, it was pretty crazy. Not that it was like his fault, but the dog just like,
100% his fault.
Yeah. But the dog just like went straight out. I was like, oh my God, imagine if I just ran over this little dog. That was wild. But then everything got tough, I reckon, once I did the second lap, and I was all good, and I was sort of buzzed up for the next hour. But the last 2 hours, when I looked at the watch and I went, there's still 2 hours of this to go. Yeah. Like, that was when it was like, shit. Yeah. And it just got like a bit more of a grind the whole time. And then I came up probably and I was starting to hurt, probably 30 Ks to go. And the last loop way out in the forest, because I knew everybody was in town. Yeah. And I got to that loop, and I just hear this body match. And I look up and it's mum, dad, and my sister Elise that
Yeah,
are on
right.
this corner in the middle of nowhere. And I was like,
Come off the forest, yeah.
I was looking down, I was hurting. I'm just like this, like heads rolling like that. And then I was like, oh yeah. So they got back and then
About
hammered it.
25K to go.
Yeah, and then like felt really pumped the whole way home.
Yep.
So that was good to see them. Yeah. Did you have like other people set up or?
Not set up. I had a guy like as a spotter.
Yep.
He drove to all the U-turns and just wanted feedback on how the others looked. I know what the time gaps are.
Yeah.
But it's more about the body language.
Yeah, and then when you actually finished, did you know straight away you'd done the record?
Oh, it's on the
on the screen
up ahead of you.
Yep.
Yeah. So I hadn't known what. I only had someone tell me about K to go. It's a K and a half that looks like you're going to break 7:40, and I was like, well, this is a quick day.
Yeah.
Like.
How'd you feel when you thought that you're going to break that? Or
No, I didn't care about breaking
Didn't
that.
care?
I was like, wow, I'm going to go 7:40.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sprint to the line. And there's very few races, maybe a never again sort of thing. Not another one again, but where you have the ability to, he's 6 minutes up the road. The other guys are 10 minutes back. To soak the finish line in.
Yep.
It's like there'll be races where I'll just have to run through the line. So the ability to embrace the crowd that's been so supportive all day, mate, I'm never going to sort of hand that opportunity up.
Absolutely.
So I was like, I hope it ticks over so I don't feel the urge to run in at 7:39.58 when I could have been 7:40.15.
Yep.
And really, said thank you to everyone that had got behind me all day.
Absolutely. And when does everything start to, so like the run, what pace are you running at that?
Yeah, so we were out at 3:35 pace, which was too hot. So I slowed.
For a marathon. That is just after you've just been going for
the first
5
3K.
hours or whatever, that is just so fast.
Yeah. So I actually walked an aid station to bring my average. I was splitting in 5K segments.
Mm-hmm.
And so I walked through an aid station to get some drink in and also just to slow myself down a bit. And he was still behind me at the time. And then about 4.5K, he came up beside me and then just passed me, still running 3:35. And I was like, nah, I've walked off the bike in every Ironman I've done this year. So I was like, I don't have the confidence to commit to that pace, even though in training it's been quite comfortable.
Right, yeah. But you just got to kind of know, like, when you're going to, like, you just got to do your own thing for it as well. Like,
it doesn't change.
Because it's such a long race. If you're trying to keep up with somebody else,
Yeah,
like, you just don't know.
It can come undone
Yep.
far more often than it wouldn't. So, yeah, and then I just sat off. He slowed a bit, and I sat off probably 20 metres behind him for ages. And then I had to go to the toilet.
Yep.
And I've never trained to piss running, but it probably ruined the day a little bit.
Really?
It was like 15K in, and I went in the Portaloo, and I was in there 30, 40 seconds.
You can't pee.
And you just stand.
Yeah,
and
you
just
can't.
keeps coming, and it keeps coming, and you're just wasting time. And I was like, but when I got running, I was amazing. I felt amazing again. And then 10K later, I actually had some pain in my right foot. So the day before, I'd been for a jog and I got swooped by a willy wagtail.
No.
And I came over on my big toe. Yeah.
Oh.
And it was swollen enough that it was hurting my shoe. So
I hate birds, eh?
I called a few aid stations for scissors, and then eventually I got them. So I stopped, took my shoe off, cut a hole in where the pain was to relieve the pressure. And then I was fine.
So you cut your shoes?
Cut the hole.
Really? So you finished with a hole in your shoe?
Yeah.
Wow.
Didn't open up anymore. I just had very blood-riddled feet that I threw my socks out. And
Fuck.
so it was, and that was another 20 seconds. So when you got a small gap, and he's even made comments now, posts that he was actually struggling a little bit when I was not going anywhere. And then I let the race go. But it's just lessons where I can correct that.
Yep.
And then I also now have a confidence, okay, that's a PB for me in a marathon, 2:44 off the bike. But 2:38 was the target, right?
It's just so crazy, 2:44.
And he beat me with what my target was.
Yeah.
So, but going there early, you have to commit to the speed early, which is the mental aspect.
Yep.
Because I was cruising early. I could have run with him. But I was like, no one has. The run course record was 2:41, and then he runs 2:37.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge.
So I wipe 5 minutes off the course record, and he wipes 11.
That's crazy.
So it's like bittersweet, but it's more sweet.
Just a fast day.
Yeah, just a quick day. I feeling now that the bike, the air pressure was elite. You travel when the air particles are moving freely, you travel through the air faster. So we just had a really good day. Yep. Wasn't too hot either.
Well, like I got into the transition for the from the bike, just sort of the sandwiches saved me. So so that was real good because I just needed something in the stomach. So how it works with the transition bags, everyone, it's like you put all your stuff in that you need for the bike when you go off and then the run, and it's got to be everything. So it's got to be like your food, your socks, your Vaseline, everything, whatever that you need. And Matt was like, "Yep." The day before, chuck some sandwiches in, and I was like, "Yeah, no, it's a good idea." So I reckon I had 8 sandwiches, I think.
Did you?
Yep.
Wow.
So I had like 4 on the bike.
Vegemite.
Maybe it was 6 I had. Yeah. No, the best ones were jam. I had peanut butter, Vegemite, and jam. But the problem, because you put them in the day before, it was like, and in the pocket as well, they're all mushed. Like they're like a big clump of just like bread. But the jam ones were the best because with white bread, it was all like squishy and whatever. Yeah, right. It kind of tasted like a croissant in the end a little bit. So for next time, but if I ever do,
well, we're going to talk about this.
Jam sandwiches were the one with a little bit of butter. That was good. So I had that, got that in the stomach. I'm just like chatting with everyone, and I think that like the point that I knew that I was like, I'm actually. The whole day I was super confident. There was not one thought that went through it the entire time. But like I got back from the run and I was looking around at everybody else that had just got off the same time, and everyone looked fucked.
Off the bike.
Yeah, like they looked gassed, and I'm there smiling. I'm like, how'd you go? Like, I'm chatting. I'm like, do you want we're getting just chat. I'm just chatting with everyone.
You're in a tent, by the way.
Yeah.
So you're sitting down on chairs in a tent.
Yeah. And I'm just chatting with all these guys, and they were like, told me like, how you feeling? I was like, I feel good. And he's like, yeah, you're bit happy for this point. So I was like, I feel great. So, and then when I got so I come out the transition bit and everybody's there again. And then the run is, because there's just so many people, like the whole way along, like the bike, it's, few and far between, and the swim, you're by yourself until you come out. There was so many people. So when I came out the transition bit, down that first gate or whatever, everyone's body badge, but everyone's going nuts, high-fiving fucking everyone. There's clients that I've got that are down there it was just mental. And then I got into the first lot of 10, and it just kept going, that first part, because you go around, there's 4 laps of 10 all the way down the end. I felt like that just kept going. I was like, when is this gonna turn? When is this path gonna turn around? But there was this lady, I don't know if she listens to the podcast or not, but she obviously owns the house that's there.
Right.
And she had her 8 or 9 or 10 friends, whatever, out the front. They're all sinking piss, right? And there's absolutely no one out that side. Body match! Oh my God, fucking this. But they came running with me for a bit, and I'm like, oh my God, they're drinking piss. Oh, it was so funny.
Yeah, well, Love Island fans, obviously.
Yeah. And then went around, and the goal for me, what we're chatting about, was I was just trying to run to every aid station and visit everyone. So I'd run as the whole way, get to the aid station, I'd walk, grab my Gatorade and Coke, and then gel if I needed it, and then as soon as it got to the end, then I'd start going again.
Yep.
Which was really, I felt like I did that good the whole day, except the last lap, I walked probably 200 meters before one.
Right.
And then the rest of it, I ran the whole time. But when I looked at some people, messaging me, some of the footy guys I train were going, you fucking 7-minute kilometers at the end of it. But I was like, you try doing that. But anyway, but that would be me going in for a piss plus walking.
Easy.
So that's so
and also the
6
tracker,
minute kilometers.
People looking at a tracker that's not accurate with where they've distance is on the timing mat. So some come up at fast and some are a minute slower per K. So that's just a tracker issue.
Yeah. And then the first lap of 10, I think I did it. I think I was about 5:40 or something. Yep. So I was feeling good, but I just knew. Yeah. I was just like, Gerard, just keep the lid on everything because none of it's even started yet.
25K on.
Yep. That's exactly. And I was like, once you hit 20, it's going to get hard. So just keep the lid on. So when I went through the town and was seeing everybody on the runs for the first 2, I was keeping it real chilled. I just thought, no, don't even waste as much energy as possible. Yep. Keeping it real low key, which was good because the second I hit the 20, that's when everything just started to and it's carnage on the run by that point. There's people they're just zombied, walking, vomiting, sitting down. There's people laying down. I saw people on even the back end bit of the bike. There's people under a tree.
And
No, they've got the IV
wow.
hooked up on the tree. They don't even have a medical person with them. They're just sitting there with their IV by themselves.
Yeah,
There's probably about 5 of them on the last little bit of the bike. It was pretty
hooked up.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So like you're seeing all this carnage going on, and then because everybody's on different laps as well, I was held chatty for the first 2 laps, chatting with everyone. So I'm like, oh, what lap are you on? And there's people coming up, going, oh, Body Badge, let's run for a bit. Yeah, cool. So, so that was good just to like keep my mind busy a bit when it got really lonely out the back part. Did the people with there was like a tent set up as you're coming back in? Was there people with their fucking DJ decks and everything?
Yeah,
their big
the whole
blow thing
time.
the whole time?
Yeah.
You got that? Were they going nuts?
Yeah, I know them too.
Oh, you know them.
So
I
gave them nothing until the last lap.
Yeah, nice. Because they were going nuts.
They would have been drinking piss.
I was going to say by the time that was 5 hours more.
They were cut by lap at the end for me.
So 5 more hours of drinking by the time I got back. They were pumping it. They were coming on the road with Body Badge. They fucking run. They got their shoes off. They're running with me. They were just
kind of speaking, but not really speaking.
Yeah. It was so funny. They all got their phones out with me running. It was so funny.
You're sending them invoices.
Yeah. But then I guess like the whole, I was really good with the mental side of stuff. There was not one bit that I thought, oh, nah, it's gonna, the whole time I just went, you're finishing it. I had only one way out on my arm. And that was so good. I just like, oh yeah, cool. No, there's only one way. Like,
get to the carpet.
What are you going to do? Fucking stop? And you got to walk back anyway. You know what I mean? Like, and same with the bike. I was like, you're out in the middle of nowhere. You got to fucking ride your bike back anyway. Like, so that was like a good one just to keep me going for that. But then, when I got to the last 20, that's when everything just started to fill up. And like my left hammy was a little bit, Beck gave me a little bit of a massage. The night before I was like, can you just give me a little bit here? She's gone too hard on one of the bits of the hammy. And I was like, oh no.
But you will tighten up, right? You're 10 hours in.
Yeah.
So that's just the point. You need to, in training, you might go home, whereas race day, you just got to...
Totally, just tough it out. And then I just went because I was like, 540 for that first little start bit. And I just went, okay, cool, bring it back and just do really short steps just to like not full extend it out. And that was just short steps for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But the funnest and the best part for me for the whole day was I just could not believe I didn't go 5 or 6 minutes without people running next to me or people on the course or whatever going. And you've all got your names on there, and everybody was really good for just everybody that's participating going. Say if I'm running with, I don't know, Tyler. Yes, Tyler. Like, because they've got your name. But everyone is saying Body Madge, right?
Yeah,
so they're going, Body Madge. Fuck. And they're all like, it was just mental. So
still got that sign on your head.
Yeah. So but I was so cool because I'm just like, oh my God. Like, and it was just 5 minutes and someone go, oh yeah. And then you revved up again revved up again. So for me, that was good.
Yeah. People do, other athletes on course also, everyone's happy to try and run with one another and motivate one another, especially when they're going through bad patches.
So I actually ran the last 10Ks I ran with someone. It was one of the guys that came to the podcast on the Friday night that trains with Iron Ryan, and he had his shirt, his branded shirt thing on, and I was like, went up to him, and he was walking for the last lap, and I was like hurting. Yeah. And I was like, oh mate, like, let's
tick this off.
Yeah, let's go. And he's like, yeah, cool, sounds good. So we didn't really talk much. No. But I was like, let's get to the aid station. So every aid station we got there, and we're fucking high-fiving the shit out of each other. We're like, fuck yeah. And then we got to the next one, another one.
And they're about 2.5K apart. Yeah. For anyone watching at home.
And I was doing, for the, I know you were saying, just do Cokes for the last bit. But also scared just to get dehydrated. Yeah, so I was going Coke and Gatorade.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, as long as you can stomach it.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is like, Coke's a heavier form of carbohydrate.
Yeah.
You won't get much in the cups.
No.
Gatorade, you would get more. So Gatorade's also hydrating as well as the sugar and the salt.
Mm-mm.
So it acts, you're just complementing one another. And then water can just chase the stomach. If your stomach's feeling a bit acidic or you feel a bit like full in the guts, you go to water to neutralise.
Yeah. And then the good bit about the run as well was Bakes and Matt and Ryan were coming. I was about, I don't know, half an hour, 40 minutes in front of them, but we would be crossing each other.
Yeah, right.
And that would give each other, when I'm seeing them go, I couldn't believe how well Bakes went with all his injury. I didn't see him walk once.
Yeah, well, he said he didn't, just the aid stations a bit.
Just the aid stations, but I couldn't believe how well he did with it. Yeah. Like he just cruised.
Was he pulled up sore?
No. He's fine. He's messaging me
He's
going...
got fake knees, that's why.
Yeah, he's like messaging me
Hips.
going like, I want to do the fucking ultra Ironman and shit. I'm like, bro, I've still got blisters and my toes are still purple from the last one.
In Noosa.
Yeah, you've already fucked me up enough for 1 year, please. Just leave me alone.
3 days of it. Not a job. You got to go to sleep and then do it again.
Oh, so fucked. And then the last bit of so when I've come to the run, all my family has set up at the Goose restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't know. You've seen the videos of that part. The noise does not do it justice, for how I was feeling for it and everything. So like the last time battling, I'm like, fuck me. And I knew that they were there, but then they've obviously in one of the laps, they've befriended the table next to them as well. That were there for this lady, Janet, right? And they also had because my family all had the white t-shirts with the Ironman shit all over it. And the ones next door had these white t-shirts and they had this Janet thing on it. So I come around and I'm like, I can't wait to see everyone. And I've just got goosebumps. I just hear this body match, and I'm like, I'm looking because I could see everybody. And I'm going, have more of my mates come down or something? Because they're all in the same white shirts. Like, going, who the fuck are these people? There's about 30 or 40 of them now. Body match. And I'm still so confused. Like I'm running. I'm just like trying to make out their faces. And I'm like, I definitely don't know them, but they're all going nuts. I was like, this is sick. I'm high-fiving them all the way past.
This was like 2.5K to go.
Oh, no, this was with 2 laps to go.
Right.
Yep. So then every time I went past after that, they were there. And the adrenaline shot I got for the 2 laps, that was like in terms of my favorite feeling for the whole day, that was almost better than finishing. I felt relief when I finished and I was like, oh, it's done. Like the whole body was just like, let's just sit down. How good's this? Yeah. But in terms of the high that I got, it was running past them for those 2.
Yeah, wow.
And it continued down because like there's probably people for another 400 or 500 meters before the path, there's no more supporters or whatever. It continued on, body match. So I'm fucking running like, it was so amazing. And then when I linked up with that guy for that the last 10Ks, we come on in and we're so close. We're like, 6Ks to go or something. And I'm feeling like, no, let's get there. And I'm just thinking, I cannot wait to get back into like where everybody is. Right. And he's hurting so hard. And we didn't talk much, but I said, bro, wait till we get into here. Yeah. Like I said, just wait.
Because he hadn't been with you yet. Yeah,
he hadn't been with me yet. And I was like, bro, just wait. Yeah. And I was like, it's going to be sick. And he's like looking at me like, and I was like, no, let's just keep running. So we kept running. And then we got to that bit and that was the last, like, boy, man, it was fucking mental. And then because I knew it was done now.
2K to go. Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, I'm giving this one and everything. And then he's next to me and he's got the biggest smile. I'm trying not to cry because I'm just so like, oh my God, this is so sick. Like I'm choking up, like trying to keep running. And then he turns to me after and he goes, bro, that was so special. Yeah, and I was like, that was sick, hey? I'm like, I'm trying not to go. And then we ran through and then our pace to finish off. We're killing it. Yeah, we're killing it now. Yeah. But then with 2Ks to go, like around the bend bit, I'm running and I just feel this pop and I'm like, fuck, my whole toe, there's blister with 2Ks to go. And I felt like I'd been shot. I was like, like this. Like, fuck. And I was like, bro, I've just popped this blister. He's like, no, you got. I'm like, fuck off. Like, running with him. And then like coming up to the carve, it was just like unbelievable. What was like your last couple of Ks like?
Because you give the crowd nothing, right? There's so many Ironman races or triathlons really in general where you see people's race come unstuck in the last 500 meters. Yep. Just collapse.
Really?
Yeah, heaps. Like you just shut down.
Yeah.
Right, you're either in deficit or dehydrated and your body knows when it's had enough.
That would be the most heartbreaking thing ever for your last like...
Yeah, people at 100 metres from the line crawling and stuff, right? So as I came past with 2K to go, I could feel that, everyone that had been there in the crowd, they wanted a bit. He was 6 minutes up the road. The boys were well back. I felt fine. So, I gave him a little bit and just enough to then... You still got to run 2K, right? And I still wanted to run well. So,
and again, that path out that way goes forever still.
Yeah, it does feel like you're going, it takes ages to get to the turnaround. But then once I was there, I've actually done heaps of 1K repeats from that corner to Busselton. So
that's kind of where we actually saw each other on that practice run the day, couple days before.
And then, K to go, you come up onto the broad walk and then that's, you're 400 to go or something. So, but the carpet wasn't long. Last year it was a couple hundred meters, 150 meters, so you really could. But you had to make sure that as soon as you hit the crowds, you were fist pumping. So people really started to lift.
Absolutely.
And the commentators get a trigger pretty early to where you are. The bike tells them 500 to go. So they can start to rev the crowd up and the music gets louder and then the CO2 canisters go off.
So good.
Yeah, and when I saw 740, I was like, I'm not a joke. It's like you chase these victories all the time, but I had performed. I said in your podcast the Friday night down there, I need to break the course record and I feel fit enough to do it. And I did that, but I was just beaten by a better bloke on the day.
Yep.
So you can prepare to what you think's necessary and then some days you
could not have raced any better than that.
Yeah, so anytime I've finished second there, I've been beaten by a bloke who's broken the course record. So if that's what people have to do to beat me, I'll just keep chipping away and one day it'll stick again. So yeah, it just sets my year up really well next year. And, I hope to get some good support, some good companies behind what I'm trying to achieve. I only really feel like I've probably just started. Yeah. My body feels good. I feel healthy. It's exciting. There's like new stuff happening. So and I still love training. So
yeah. And then like actually on the red carpet for you. So like, you're finishing off.
Yeah.
You was just, I know you're saying, oh yeah, you were gassed. You did not look gassed at all.
It's okay.
I look at the photo, like the video of you coming in. I was like, this motherfucker is like smiling. He's barely got a bead of sweat on him. Like,
yeah, I actually don't like finishing with a hat on. I don't think it shows the true emotion of the day. So I put my hat in my pocket.
Yep.
And then I saw my old man my dad gets quite nervous through events. So he'll wander into weird parts of the course and I'll see him on his own. Never says much. But I saw him and give him a hug. And, we're not overly emotional to one another. Haven't been over the years. So but moments like that are enough, right?
Absolutely.
Like and you know what it's like. It's very special to, one, you finish a massive event, but then when they see you up amongst, my dad's a sports fan. So when they see you achieving times and results it's international. Right, it's a very
such an accomplishment.
Good effort. Yeah,
and it's just all the grind,
it's the
all those
acknowledgement,
hours that you've been putting in.
Yeah, and then Kim and Tom were just behind the line. So to see, you see them straight away, and it's just nice that we're actually going to have some family time over the next 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
Tom obviously doesn't understand yet, but he knows who I am, so that's the main thing. It's just very noisy at the finish line when the music's pumping, but
definitely.
It's a weird feeling. Like, I think the weirdest feeling was I felt like I'd won for myself. Mm-hmm. I hadn't won the race, but, he was very complimentary. He drew that level out for the day, which was great. Because 7:55 is all I've been able to go there, and then there's still a lot that can improve.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, like when I was sort of running around and asking everybody, how'd Matt go? And they went, he got second. My initial, because I didn't know the times. I didn't see the video of you doing it. I didn't know, again, any of this right now of how the day went, how you're feeling and everything. I was like, fuck. I was like, fuck, so close. I was like, fuck. But I was like, no, fucking let's go. Let's get this,
Yeah, the one thing I thought about coming to the line was the video you sent me the day before. If you don't win, you can get fucked. You're done. I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
I've been through all this bullshit the last 5 months and you don't fucking win and you come
you're off
second.
the podcast. Wow, that I hadn't. And I was like, how do I explain this one? But yeah, it's an Australian record. So I never thought I'd be a record holder of any degree, but it's the first time someone's broken 4 and an Aussie's broken 4 on the bike and then also gone that fast.
And these are all the so what do you run me through?
Yeah, so that's a state. So the iron distance, we have that's a state championship as well.
Yep.
So that's the
so
Mark
you've won
Batt trophy.
that you've won that championship
6 times now.
Fuck, that's wild.
Yeah, and then the other trophy is the second place.
Oh my god, that's so
it's
nice.
Heavy, but
that is heavy.
Yeah,
that is so sick. Wow, it's amazing. But yeah, like for me, like running through like the last bit, it was like
it's still pretty dark, right?
Dark.
So people are it's not till you see the carpet.
Yeah. So then I turn and there's like there's the path for the last bit where it's like they've got a little sign saying
finish.
More laps to go, and then there's finish to the right. And I've looked at that all day and gone, this fucking sign, I can't wait to turn right at this sign. And then I get to the last one and I'm like, yes. And I went and I've been running with that guy And I was like, because he really helped me out with that.
Right.
It's like we helped each other out, but like, and I was definitely more hyped, but I was like, he fucking worked for me. So I was like, man, you go you go have your moment.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, you're first. And I was like,
yeah, right.
I was like, yeah. So then I went, and then just came down that last bit, and because it was dark and all the lights, and you're so overwhelmed with everything. Because I had like family and friends all throughout. Different bits of it, and I missed them.
Yeah.
I've missed them.
Yeah.
And then
you do also want to just get to the finish.
It's exactly right.
If you stand too much and hug everybody, then you'd be surprised what can happen to your legs.
Yeah. And then I ran through, and the bell was there. So, like for anybody again that doesn't know, for your first Ironman, if it's your first one, there's this first timer bell, and you ding this big bell, and everyone's like, so good. So I like ding the bell. And then again, I was just more like, I didn't even like, I guess, stop too much, because I was like, I just needed to get there. Like it was just there. So I like dinged it, and then I'm like going through, and then it was just like, I don't know, like it's weird. I don't even actually remember it as much as other points in the day, because it was just so overwhelming.
Yeah.
The videos, when I look back, I go, oh my gosh, like that's like triggering the memories when I'm like seeing the videos a little bit more, and like putting myself back in that like perspective, I guess. And then got through the line. Then I hear you. What'd you say? You said,
I said all the way from Love Island, Body Magic,
so
you and I, man.
So
it's really like the story. I had to ask the MC to be able to do it right. I know
that
him
was
quite
so
well.
sick. You did that, by the way. Like that made that so special for me. I hope that you know that. And
but he's like, it's quite iconic for him to call people. So people don't go to events if he's not there.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Wow.
He's been doing it for 20 years.
He's like the voice of Ironman.
In Oz. Yeah, Oceania. So when I asked him, I was like, oh, I wouldn't be surprised if he says no, but he was like, nah, of course, mate.
Oh man, it was so cool. So when you told me that a couple of days before, that you've organised if I finish, you kept saying if you finish. You never said when. You said if you finish, that you're gonna call my name out. I was like, that is so sick. And the few days before that, I was really just like thinking about like, oh my God, that is going to be so cool.
Yeah.
Just like going through all this bullshit together, and then we get there and that happens, and like what an ending.
Pressure on me too. I told you I needed to go home and eat and shower and come back.
Oh yeah, you were fresh. You were in
I was like, I better get there. I better go quick.
You're in your nighttime clothes.
Yeah,
you look fresh as. You're in your Birks.
I was in my VIP clothes. Yeah.
And then I got through, and then I was like, oh, but you don't know where to look to start off with, because of the lights, and it was dark as well, because there's like strobe lights pretty much.
Yeah, they were. It was like a disco.
It was like a disco, yeah. And the music going, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know where to look. And what it felt like weirdly was I couldn't hardly hear any of the music going on. It just felt like you've been to a festival, and the last acts come on, and they've turned the lights off, and you're feeling like, oh my God, what do I do now? And I'm just looking around going like, oh my God, who is that? Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm looking at my body going, what am I doing? And then I saw Beck, gave Beck a bit, I got my medal, and then I'm looking around, Beck was there, she's going nuts. So I gave her a big hug and a kiss. And then the next person I saw, I was looking around for you.
Nah, Kim was next to her. Hey, taking a video.
So I saw Beck. I gave her a big hug and kiss, and then I was going, "Where's Matt?" I was like, "I have to see Matt," and I'm looking behind, and I looked behind, but then I saw Kim, your wife, right in front of me, and I was like, "Oh, you're close enough." You know, I was you're close enough to Matt. Give me a. So I gave her a hug and a fucking kiss, and then I turned around, and you were there, and then we had a big hug, and it was just like, oh, it was so crazy, man. It was so good. And then the one after that was, then I was like, "Where's Mum and Dad?" And Mum and Dad were on the other side, and when I watched that video back, I'm like, get real
that's
choked
the ones,
up.
Right, they
man,
love it.
That was crazy, because like I saw Mum and Dad over there, and I gave them like both big hug, and they've just that was like that was so cool. That was like one of the best moments for sure. And then I'm just sort of looking around, and again I didn't really know what to do. But the other thing is like they're kind of getting you to
move on,
the finish line, quick get it off sort of thing. So I thought I don't want to be hanging around
the recovery
too long.
area,
and then I came over to you. And you're like, oh, take you through to the recovery bit. And I'm like, yep, sounds good. And I'm just actually hanging, like there's a video of me like actually holding your shirt like
right.
this.
That's okay though.
Like I was just going like, I cannot move my legs. And then it was so, and that was good. And we went to the recovery bit. But And you said some nice things to me, which was good. And then for a change, and then
He's constant.
There's
this last week, yes, Gerard, you did well,
bro. Hang on before you say that. There is a video. I haven't showed you this video yet, right? Somebody has just filmed your in close reaction of when I've come across, and you're there, and you look like you look like a little proud dad moment. I'm gonna show you this. It is just close up of you, and you're there, not. Big smile.
I was like, I could go to bed now.
No, you did not.
So
He's fucking
tired,
lying.
mate.
He's fucking lying. I'm putting this on a clip, right? He's there. I can see he's looking around.
Yes.
He's shaking his head. He's giving me the
5.5 hours ago.
That was so good, so good. And then I went into the recovery tent thing, but that thing was like
pumping.
There was carnage in there. Like I was like, get me out of here. I walked in, and it wouldn't be like this, I'm sure, for you guys, but there was no one that I was expecting someone to come and get me and show me through. It was just like, here's a tent.
Here's your chips.
Here's your stuff.
Go and get some food.
Do you want to go do your stuff? So then I'm like, what do I didn't know what to do. We hadn't even spoken about what you do after.
Post,
So I was a bit confused. I was like, someone going to come and help me here or not? And then I'm looking around and it's like zombie town in there. Like it is like there is gremlins happening in there. They're on there was like several people on the floor.
Yeah.
Like trying to get themselves up. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was like
the best thing to do is just to go out to your family and let them deal with you.
Yeah, and then I got in. I grabbed a plate. I was like, I guess I have to get some food.
That's pretty important.
Yeah,
you'd be surprised, but they have all like salty food, pizza, but to get fats back in your system as soon as possible. Is so important.
Which I didn't know, so I was like, I grabbed a couple of things. So I did not feel like eating, and then I sat down, and then I'm just staring and just going, I don't know what to do. And then I saw my sister pop up over the fence and she's like, oh, yes. And I'm like, I got to get back out there because I'm like, nothing's happening in here for me. So I went straight out. I probably was only in there for maybe 3 minutes or something. I went straight out and then saw everyone. Yeah. And then that's like, everyone's just hugging. And I almost feel a bit...
it's exhausting. Yeah.
I feel bad.
You're not giving them much.
I didn't give much, right? And upon reflection, I'm like, fuck, I really wish I could have been more up and about for that, but I just couldn't. Like,
no, they understand.
Yeah. And then we sat down and whatever, and then all of a sudden, my stomach starts to go, and I'm like, oh my god, all you've been doing is drinking sugar and the gels all day,
jam sandwiches.
Oh, so bad, right? And it's sitting there, and I'm like, oh my god, and I go to I'm like to my mate Jono, I was like, Jono, you got to help me here, bro. And he's like, yeah, all good. So he's got me literally stretchering me off to this restaurant, to the Goose. And we go into the Goose and I'm in the disabled toilet or whatever. And I'm like, oh my, and I got my suit on. And I'm like, fuck, because the suit's only one way on. And you got to take the whole thing off pretty much. I'm like, I just need a shit. I'm like, no, get in there. Take all the suit off. And I'm like, I cannot get down to the thing. I collapse down.
And that doesn't get better for the next few days either.
No, and then it was just like the most, I don't even want to describe it, right? It was the most fucked thing, right? And then I'm like, oh my God, that's so much better. I'm sitting there, but then I'm going, how do I get up, right? And then I'm looking around, there's only there's the toilet roll holder. That's the only handle thing that was there. And I was like, I got the toilet roll, chucked it off. That was my handle. I'm like, please fucking hold me. So I'm like,
your quads are...
And then as I stood up, because of the pockets in the back that had all my gels and all the random stuff, I stood up, and everything's falling off the back of me. No. So there's fucking gels everywhere. There's salt tablets everywhere. I'm like, no. And I'm looking around. It's just this scene. And then I open the door, and Jono looks at the toilet, as in with all the stuff everywhere, and he's like, what
in the restaurant.
Fuck?
Sorry, the Goose. Goose Cafe.
It was so bad. And then just sat there looking into space for ages, just being like, what the hell? It just didn't sink in until way later, I guess. It's just so frightening. What's the actual reason for that, do you know?
You're just exhausted in all aspects, physically, mentally, and emotionally. You don't have the energy to engage with people. So it's just you've done it, it's over, and then your whole body and mind have to compute the fact that you can actually just chill out. Yeah. And it's a weird euphoria when you achieve a goal, because then you're often left feeling quite not lost, but
almost straight away. I was week. For this whole week, I don't think unsure, but for this whole week, I've gone number one.
Yeah.
Look at all this time I've got.
Yeah.
And number two was more that like, say I went for a ride this morning, but I was like, what am I riding for? As in like I went out and it was a good ride, but I was like, well, it wasn't written on a thing.
Yeah, just for health and fitness, right?
Yeah,
it's
that's
the reason,
right.
like, you know, it's great for people because it gives you variety. Triathlon's great where you can swim, bike, or run.
Yeah.
So you can do something different. It doesn't have to be this one style and riding's sort of, it's not, the impact's not there that running has, and it allows you to go and see the outdoors, you know, a lot more than swimming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a good thing, right? You've created a new habit, right? You don't have to be behind four walls to lift weights all the time, although everyone's seen you thinking you pump your swole again.
Definitely not. I'm on my spaghetti arms.
Yeah,
still.
that's it. So I don't know what I was looking at, but I do have a few questions for you though. Your T1 time, 10 minutes. You want to talk me through that?
Which one?
The swim to bike?
Swim to bike.
I've checked your transition times.
Oh, I was high fiving. You said
we've lost 25 minutes. Well, you could have almost broken 12.
I told you, bro. There was so many high fives. I had to stop. There was like every third person high five needed a photo.
It's almost like Busselton.
I had to sign something for a few of them. It was like
with a following down there, mate.
Man, it was like that's just. And then I got into the thing. I'm chatting with everyone. How was I going to chat to everyone if I
had a mate say to me,
through?
Did Madge have a lasagna in T1? He's like, what are you doing 10 minutes? How long did it take to get his wetsuit off?
Yeah, no, I had like 2 sandwiches.
I was like, did you see the video of him walking out of the water?
Yeah. I was
like, my son would have got out of the water faster. I'm watching these back and I was like, oh, mate, this guy's living the dream.
Yeah, I was happy as shit. My heart rate I was absolutely zone 2. I was just cruising.
You come out of that Aussie exit and you're tapping people. Yeah, another laugh. Here we go. It's not a football game.
Yeah, no, I was just enjoying. Well, I was just doing what you told me.
Yeah,
you said,
true.
enjoy.
But we could have gone sub 12.
You said...
We're back next year,
happy.
2024.
He's never happy. He's never happy with anything I do. But man, I walked every transition as slow as I could. I was just like, yep, cool, happy, chatted with everyone.
I know, I've seen it.
Yeah. But I just did what you told me.
The video where you come through on the lap 1 on the bike.
Yeah.
And you stand and you're talking to your family and you're playing with your gloves. I was like, this is minutes, hemorrhaging minutes here. I was like, I'm all for being casual, but like... They got nothing to talk to you about.
Yeah, I was just chilling. I know, it was just I hadn't seen some of them yet. I was like, oh, you guys are here. Oh, great. They're like, how you feeling? I was like, yeah, I feel good. Like,
where your video probably started to feel good for me was when early on your run, you were like giving your big flex to everyone. Late in your run, your flex was this like down here.
Yep.
And I was like, good, he's suffering.
Yeah.
Suffer, man.
That was when I was like, I need it. If I put my arm up, that's gonna use some energy.
Cramp,
no. I was like, keep it low, Jerry.
Ones, like these like drunk nods. Yeah, I'm still here.
Well, it's funny because on the videos, right, even me doing, you said those little ones, I still felt like I was doing this at the time. So like, I look back and I was like, oh. Like I thought, like from memory, you were fucking giving everyone this one.
You're like, you're the drunk bloke, mate. It's been out too long. Everyone's like, go home. Someone put him in a taxi.
Oh, fuck, that's so funny. But what I couldn't get over with the after was I could not sleep. Can you not sleep after?
Oh, you've had so much Coke, so a lot of caffeine. You've had gels with caffeine in it. Whatever, however much you had in the morning, and then the pure acid release in your body.
Yep.
So there's just, I get to the point where my skin is so sore that the sheets, like I can't sleep with sheets on.
Yeah.
So you just got to lay there, and anti-inflammatories and stuff won't help you. You just need to try and have enough food and hydrate enough that you'll get at least a little bit of a sleep. But the next day is horrible. Like I reckon I'm only just, like I didn't sleep well last night, but...
I reckon it's taken me until last night or two to feel normal again.
Yeah, it's very normal. Like your body's going through a big reset. You smash your liver, kidney. I actually had a blood test done for other health reasons on the Monday just to check. And I heard from the doctor and they're like, oh, have you been sick recently? Like they didn't know I'd done the Ironman, right? Or what it is to a degree. And I was
am
like,
sick, yes.
She's like, your liver's deranged. And I was like, oh, I did race an Ironman pretty hard on Sunday, the day before. And she was like, oh, yeah, that'll be right. That'll be
that checks out.
That'll do it.
Just beat the state record as well, but it's also the Australian record. Yeah,
but it's the first time I would have ever done that. And I was like, that's good to know. Because when your internals aren't repairing or they're damaged, they take longer.
Yep.
Your legs will come good a lot sooner than your internals will.
Yep.
Because you need to get the hydration right.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
food, the intake needs to be right. So, yeah, it's been a nice week. It's been a busy week. This is probably the last bit of media for this week, I think.
Nice. The funnest, best part.
Yeah, it's probably one I've looked forward to, because we talked a lot of shit, but like on Friday night, and I could see you had that emotion about like, yes, you're excited about what was coming up. But I knew what you were going to go through. You had no idea. But it's been, like I've told a lot of people, very refreshing for me when I have to. And you thanked me in one of your 35 voicemails on one of the days prior, but voice memos that you're like, look, I know, I'm sorry about just like the questions and stuff at the moment, but I know it's like you got a lot to focus on and you're going through a lot, so I really appreciate it. And that does mean a lot, because it was busy for me. I had a lot of media down there as well. And
man, I know, but like, again, like I told it on the podcast on the Friday night, like when you're down there, you're the big man.
Yeah, I'm going to run for mayor one day.
Yeah.
I'm going to move. I actually feel one day, Kim doesn't know this, but we will live in Busselton because I love it that much.
Yeah.
But
I froth it down there as well. I could definitely live down there at some point.
It just means a lot to me for lots of different reasons now. But yeah, it's disappointing next year. The pro race is only the 70.3. So I have to skip an Ironman year down there.
How come they did that? Do you know?
They've changed our series next year. So I'll race the 70.3, but I hope it's a victory lap after Kona.
Yep.
So
sick.
And it'll be cool to be down there, do a race that's only going to take us 3.5 hours there, and then just be able to get around the event all day.
Yeah, enjoy
the nervous tension is not the same.
Yep.
And Ironman's got such a different feel in terms of that, what you have to go through in the day to put it together.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas a half, you don't have time to think.
Absolutely. Well, like the night after, so that night of the Ironman, I finished, I'm just so fried. Like I could not close my eyes.
Yeah.
If I closed my eyes, I'd see colours.
Yeah, right.
Like flashing like this. I was like, fuck. I was like, I've been here before, but this isn't good. Like,
different festival.
Yeah,
this one.
I was like, oh God. And then it was about 1 or 2 in the morning. We got back at about midnight or something because we were sort of hanging around for a bit. And then everyone's gone to sleep. Everyone's absolutely dead. And then I'm up and I'm just laying there, staring at the ceiling. Okay, Gerard, you need to you need to go do something. So I've got I don't know how I got up, but I got up from the bed going, didn't wake back up. She sleeps through everything.
Well, that's why.
Yeah. And then I'm just walking up and down the apartment
to move.
The house just to move, right? Yeah. And I'm like, what am I doing? And then I'm just there, just like staring for a little bit somewhere. Then I go to somewhere else. I'm staring for a little bit, and I go, and then I look at the time, and it's like 4:00, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll go sit it. We had a beautiful view at that place. I was like, I guess I'll just go watch the sunrise. So I went outside, like the back end of Last Man Standing.
Yeah, wow.
And I'm just sitting I'm sitting on a beanbag, just staring, saying nothing, and watching the sun come up, just feeling like a piece of shit.
But you've achieved your goal. That's okay to feel like a piece of shit when you've achieved it. But yeah, I mean, straight away, it's just natural to think recovery. So I have recovery boots. I have actually good support from a German company, BlackRoll, and they have all these therapeutic devices so I just went to work at about 4:30 to try and start to accelerate things.
Just because you were awake at that time?
Yeah. I just got in the boots, then get out, do a bit of mobility.
Yeah.
And then I clean the bike and do a lot of stuff before Tom wakes up, and then I was useless, so Kim's only just starting to see a bit of help at home now, I think.
Good. Yeah, because it's so crazy how much you actually have to give up to be able to do that amount of training, because even though I felt like with my schedule and everything, I was just getting up really early. I've got a fucking crazy workload, so I'm getting through it all. I don't know actually how I squeezed it all in, but managed to do it. But it wasn't, I don't think I missed too much stuff with, say, me and Beck or me and my family stuff, but when I was there, I wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting there, I go to a family thing on the Saturday night or the Sunday or whatever, and I just a shell. So that's what I definitely feel bad about the training side of stuff, and you actually have to be it's pretty shit rocking up and you're hanging out with people and you're not actually mentally
listening. I mean, we go to family things, and I feel for Kimbo, we're always the ones to leave early. Most things that we go to, and it's on me, but we had Tom, our son was baptized the Sunday before. And because there's been a bit of outbreak with COVID and some other health things going through school, so I got a few cousins that have plenty of little ones. And, the discussion with Kim and I and her mum was we wear masks for the.
Well, I mean, if you've done this big build up and like this is, you know,
it's worth, you know, we made some sacrifices that were quite odd, but it worked.
Yep.
So I know neither of us regret it, and now I can plan properly for next year.
Yep.
And I'm really excited about it. Yeah,
absolutely. And you psychopath. I wake up the next morning. Do you know where I am at this point, right?
Yeah, I got it.
I'm laying. I'm laying on the floor, on the tile white floor, with one pillow under my head, like this, like a pencil, like this. I cannot move. And then I hear this ding. And I look over. I'm like, oh fuck, it's Matt. What's this gonna be? I have a look down at the thing, and it's him giving me the body mads flex, going, I'm out on the bike. What are you doing? I'm like, leave me. I think I didn't reply for a little bit. I was like, leave me the fuck alone.
I did sit at a cafe for 2 hours after that, though.
Did you? So, yeah. Oh, so good. So like, what's next for you? What's the year looking like for you?
I'm actually going to race next weekend at the WA Sprint Champs.
Oh yeah, on the Sunday.
Yep, yeah, just for fun, and then I essentially will keep training through till there's a 70.3 in Tasmania in early Feb, and then Ironman New Zealand's in March.
March. So that's the next big.
Yeah,
day.
So that's I'm in season now.
Do you is that a little bit more chilled out with your training in between the events, or like the events are like the peak stuff that you?
New Zealand, I want to be in real shape for.
Yep.
I got to carry this momentum across now, but I'll race both of them extremely hard. Whereas Melbourne 70.3 a few weeks back, I was in too heavy a training load. So I need to build confidence in my own racing ability now and what I can do in the racing, because I know what I can do in training. So. Yeah, it's a great time of year to train too. Yep. I got mates home. I got training partners.
Definitely,
it's way more fun.
Weather's good. Yeah. Makes a big difference.
What rain? You know, we don't get it here, so yeah, I love it. The hotter it gets, the better it gets. So
definitely. And I sent a video to the guys in your group chat, the other one that you trained. That
I loved it, mate. It was a massive. I lost it because you didn't do it through me. You met one of my group chat crew.
So let me tell the backstory for it. So like leading up to the race, I think it was the morning of, I had a couple of them, Bronwyn, come up and say, hey Gerard, like we're down at the beach ready to go. Congratulations on your stuff. Because I'm part of the group chat. I said you're going to do it, but you're doing amazing. Hope you have a good day. I was like, she's so lovely. I was like, oh, thanks so much, blah, blah, blah. But doing it, the funny thing about it is, right, it's probably just because that clip went quite well early on. So when we did that last podcast and you said, oh, these people can't do it. And I was like, oh, fuck. And like probably for 24 hours, I was like, oh, shit, can I do it? And that really got me the next day. I did not think about the group chat once after that day for some reason. I was doing it for so many other reasons. Like,
I don't think they even said it.
No.
To be honest.
Yeah.
They were just like, oh, he's going to get to know himself. But
totally, yeah.
It worked out real well. But then the video you sent.
And then the video I sent, I was like, oh, this is so good. So I'm sitting on the balcony and I've got my cigars that I couldn't wait to smoke.
Finisher hat on.
Yeah, I've got my finisher hat on, my sunnies on. And I just said, the group chat. Good to see you guys. I hope you had a good day. You get this better when you finish, and blah blah blah. So smoking as I'm going. Anyway,
my help moving forward. Yeah.
But no, they were all so good because I got, like I said, I probably had 4 of them come up to me once I'd finished. Once I'm sitting on a chair and give me a pat on the back and say, "Hey mate, that was awesome." So I was like, "Oh, thanks so much." So no, they're all so good, and they're all a bit of a laugh. But no, I did that the next day, and I was like, "Yeah, this is sick."
That's great.
This is pretty gangster. Yeah. But man, I've just like learned so much about, not even just about the sport, but man, just about yourself when you're like out on doing all these rides, doing a big run or whatever, and you're like really pushing to that limit. You're sort of really working out, number one, what you can do. And like the thing that changed for me so much was that from the start of the year, my self-talk, oh my God, I was doing psychology sessions for it, all sorts of stuff for it to help me sort of do that. And that's why I think the Ironman really, like, the challenge of it kind of stuck with me, because it was really weird, because like I've been asked to do endurance stuff before and I'm like, not even a second thought, but it kind of just kept coming back into my head for some, I don't know what it was just really weird. And I thought, okay, well, if you're thinking about this still, you should do it. And then kind of what it like really affirmed for me, like definitely the last maybe like 8 to 10 weeks was, holy shit, you're like, who the fuck else is out doing all this stupid shit? Like, you're a fucking gang. Like, I was just, that was what I was thinking about. You're a fucking gangster. Like, you're out here doing this shit.
You have to buffer.
Yeah. And it was probably up until like the first 3 months was just hard. Like, everything I was saying, I'm just complaining and this and that. Nothing was, and I was like, oh, fuck. But then after that, 3 or 4 months, everything just kind of clicked a little bit more. And it became more of as the sessions were still gross.
Yeah, they get harder too.
Yeah, and they get harder, and you're doing longer and everything. But personally, I was just like I was just feeling bulletproof. I was going like, you're like, what the fuck? Like, look how, if you can go out and do this session here.
Yeah, your data suggests otherwise, but.
Sorry?
Your data suggests otherwise.
Too many high fives.
100%. And it's hard. Like, I guess you appeal to a much newer audience in terms of from a fitness point of view.
Yeah.
And so that's really nice that people can see you literally went from zero endurance, and everyone that's listening, or hopefully this goes worldwide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Zero endurance.
Yep. I had nothing.
To go 12 and a half hours when you celebrated your day for half an hour during the race to get through something that has an emotional, physical, and a mental challenge, right? So we're not saying go and do an Ironman, but it is possible to, and you said the self-talk changes when you do endurance stuff due to the endorphin release.
Yeah.
So it's really good for you in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
You know, and you don't have to go outside when you go for a run and run fast.
No.
Slower the better. Right, most people who don't like running is because they think you got to go and huff and puff the whole time. You really don't.
Yep.
You know, so whereas for me, when you go on and you talk to people, they just think you're superhuman.
Yep.
Yeah, I couldn't do that anyway. Like, you just gifted. I started where you did. Right, I had no endurance background, and I just have built this, psychotic way of training, and I enjoy the workload but you can develop this amazing fitness and this feeling from being very persistent with something and engaging in it, right? You got to, before you go and something works on you, you have to believe it's going to work.
Yep.
Right. So that's why people who are big dreamers always have success, right? Because they really believe it's possible, and they'll eventually achieve it. Might not happen straight away, but
definitely, yeah.
Well, mine didn't. Took 15 years, and it's still going. So yeah, that's more the enjoyment now, like looking like you've appealed to an audience that I would try and motivate and inspire, because it is possible to just get out there and get going, get moving. Doesn't have to be triathlon. It doesn't have to be
an Ironman.
No.
An Ironman for you could just be walking every day, or going to the gym a little bit more, or going down and doing a group session, whatever it is. But like, it's more just about what I've found is it doesn't matter what the actual activity is. Just commit to something. Just go, I'm going to do that. And just hold yourself to
get out there
and just tick that shit off.
Yeah, daily. And then don't think about 3 months ahead. Think about just that next day.
Yeah.
And then eventually you are three months down the line, you're 4 months down the line, or then you're at what your goal might have been, and you're buzzing, and it's like, wow, the change in the person and the fitness and the look of, like, the way you're looking at life is completely different.
Totally different. Yeah, I just couldn't believe all of that. Like, that's people keep asking me about, oh wow, so man, the more everything's sort of sinking in this week, the more that I just reflect on the whole thing and just go, oh my gosh, like, it's probably when I was in it doing all the trading and stuff, I probably wasn't reflecting very much, and thinking about, oh, look at the progress or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was more now that it's like, you've achieved it, you go, oh my gosh, like, how amazing was that? And like, what 5 months work, did. But the other thing is, I've been working with the best guy. This is the other thing, right? So like, I've not just gone and gone, okay, cool, I'm going to do an Ironman and get someone to help me out. I've got you, who is the record holder and legend of the sport, right? So that made it oh so more enjoyable. And I think, like you said, that belief thing, I just believed everything you're saying. So I was going,
yeah,
if that's what you say to do, that's what I'm going to go do.
We'll do it.
No, it's just crazy, man. But like I said, I cannot thank you enough for being part of the journey and the experience. And it's literally totally changed my life in 5 months, which I cannot believe. It was just such an amazing day, and it's just taught me about much more than just what actual triathlon is. And just being part of, like, just seeing you do your stuff as well. Do you know how buzzed up I am to see you fucking race and do all your stuff and see your time? I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's just crazy. So the fact that I got to work with you for the last 5 months was a big privilege. And so sick, bro. So thank you very much.
I said to Kim, I was like, I worked with you to get you here, and unfortunately now I think we've become friends.
Yeah. So,
now I feel like I'm stuck with the old body Madge.
Yes. It's rubbed off on him.
It's been really enjoyable. It's not been hard. I mean, if people watching at home, I actually did it for free. So
You did.
You know, so it's for me to turn around now and have enjoyed the challenge myself to get someone off the couch to complete an Ironman in a really respectable time is it's well done to me as a coach.
Absolutely. Well done, Matt. Man. Well done. I had to put up with all my shit.
Yeah.
You should go through, like, honestly.
The group chat's graphic. The chat between me and you is too graphic.
Honestly, it's so good. The voicemails and stuff that I get sent from you, there's some classic ones in there. They're so good. But, like, what I learned so much about being a coach from you as well. There's so much that I really enjoyed with sort of like some of your coaching style as well. I'm not nearly as harsh as you for anybody that's much nicer. But, just like some of the stuff, I was like, wow, like there was some real big takeaways for me from your coaching style and how quickly you'd get back to me with stuff and just, you know, lots of things from working with you. And I haven't had that with another coach before. So, it's been, again, so much more than just actually completing the Ironman. It's stemmed out into all of my stuff now.
Yeah, it's good because you do a lot of, I guess, the weight-based work or the interval-based training, but people feel it's probably the market has trended to that's the way to trim up, get leaner, lose weight. But I have this, you know, real love for the endurance world and what endurance training, aerobic training can also do to your physiology. Yeah. So, I'm glad it's, you know, might factor over into some of the stuff you do with people and encourage them to do their local park run or, you know, get down in the ocean for a swim.
Absolutely.
In the shark net.
Absolutely, definitely in the shark net. Now, like, everyone's been asking me, am I going to do another one? And I'm like, I don't know. It's been sitting with me all week. Yeah. It has. You said you had something to ask me or something before, and I'm worried about it.
I think you've embraced the WA culture really well, and I reckon we should push to get you involved in the biggest race in WA is the Busselton 100.
Yep.
Which is in May.
What's the Busselton 100?
So you swim 2K, you ride 80, and you run 20.
Oh.
18. So you do 100K total.
That's all right.
Yeah, but it's our state champs.
Huh.
It's just the biggest WA festival. It's the end of season.
When is it?
The end of April. End of April.
Yeah, okay.
I reckon you should just...
That's doable. So hang on, so 2?
80.
80.
And 18.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
That's like, that's less than half.
It is, but we've got to push the training out.
Yeah, right.
We've got to achieve a goal this time. I think we've got to look at some numbers and be like, let's actually make training specific. So we've got you to develop this aerobic base, but what would be a cool addition, and then you probably could pack it up after that, is actually let's set an unrealistic goal and see how close we can get. see how much I can break you down.
You just did that. I'm just literally, I've had like 5 days of not being broken down and I'm feeling good again. And then you're trying to do, so what is, I say stupid shit on this podcast when I'm sitting here, but what is the sort of times and that sort of shit that you're talking?
I haven't thought about it yet, but I did think about registering you, getting you an elite start. So you had to start.
An elite start? Absolutely fucking not.
But no, like the distance is quite a new distance. It used to be the 70.3.
Yeah.
But this is a long course distance, they call it. So I have to adjust your time accordingly. But I don't know. I feel like then if you actually... We went through a period of training where you didn't do a lot of intervals. It wasn't about that, right? But now we may as well test the limits. Test the body limits.
This was tested my limits. No.
Just a few speed sessions here and there. No, keep that membership going at the pool. Rivet and pool, we're coming back.
I've already cancelled it. It's got a 2 weeks cooling off period, then it's actually properly cancelled. But fuck.
It can be next year. We start next year. Fuck. We start January 1 and you show up every single day.
Fuck.
People want to see you there. Busso knows who you are.
Yeah,
you were busy, buddy, trying to sign babies and stuff on your way around the course. But
Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Well...
You don't do much. Come on.
I don't do much.
Should we ring Beck? We'll get her online now.
Oh, all right. We'll ring Beck.
Text her.
All right. If Beck... All right.
If Beck says yes, we're doing it.
Fuck's sake, Beck. Say no. Say no. I won't say anything. Fuck.
Hey, babe. How are you?
No, it's the better version. It's Matt here. Beck.
Oh, my God.
Hey, babe.
That freaked me out.
Yeah, sorry. It's a different voice. It's a much soothing voice. But I've got a question.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been saving this, right? I was met with Triathlon WA and they want to get the Maj involved in our state championships. Which
What's that?
So it's a long course triathlon, which is at the end of April in 2024. And
Yeah.
because he high-fived so many people, signed so many babies, they just love what he was doing. And I was like, look, I can talk to him, but I think more importantly, I need to talk to his girlfriend first as to if he can come through a regime that will be far more intense from an effort point of view.
Oh my
Because we're
God.
I would like to actually challenge him to specific goal.
How big is this?
It's shorter. It's half the distance. But I just feel like I was watching the videos back, and here he is walking, stopping, having a chat to you guys on the bike. I'm disappointed we lost half an hour in social engagement during the race.
Fair point. I think you gave me about 5 kisses along the way.
Yeah, it's too many. Save them for the 12 hours he didn't sleep afterwards. But if you say yes, he's committed.
100%.
Yeah.
No.
Body Magic's just starting his triathlon journey.
I literally said to Gerard when it was done, like I was having just as much of a come down as Gerard the following day, and I said, "Can you please do another one?"
Yeah, this is much shorter. Like you'll be watching for 4 hours.
Then that's easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
And it's still a really cool vibe.
Do it.
There's probably more
It
people.
would.
Probably more people get down and spectate this one.
But what happens with the high five time? That must be double.
Nah, mate, you racing this one.
Oh, so this is like a sprint.
This is
Sprint thing. It's like a proper competition thing.
Yeah. If he doesn't
my
achieve
God.
the goal, he then has to get the Ironman tattoo.
Oh no, there's
his
no
leg.
fucking way.
If he doesn't-
There's fucking no way.
Nah.
That's the deal. That's the deal I'm putting on the
There's
table.
no way.
If he doesn't achieve
Gary-
my time goal,
Gerard really prides himself on his clean skin.
yeah, so
that
was
was
I. And I
definitely
regret it every
a
day.
lot of. I feel like that's a good motivation for him for sure.
Fuck. Oh
my God!
both of you. I'm
so into
fucking had it. I fucking had it.
So everyone, all the listeners at home, I'm going to set a very unrealistic goal.
No. Very
Where is
realistic.
it?
Because he's got all, it's in end of April.
I'm actually
So he's got the
panicking.
rest of the year
I'm
off.
actually panicking.
Where is it?
Busselton
Is it
again.
down south again?
Yeah, but he's the king of Busselton now. He's been
I'm fucking
self-proclaimed.
panicking.
Oh my God!
He's
That's
telling me
actually
that.
so good. Because I was thinking we were going to have to wait like a whole year for him to do another one. This is great. That's like less than 5 months away.
Yeah. It's only he's
I love it.
in season now.
Beck,
He's
you've
just
made me
started,
panic. I've just started to genuinely sweat.
and I will
Sorry,
be here.
Gerard.
I'll be here, which is great. I won't be
Gerard,
traveling.
You and I both know that you want to do another one, but you're just a bit.
No,
a
I'm
bit shook.
petrified of the tattoo now, and I'm
Yeah.
shocked that it's come up. I'll be honest, I thought I was going to maybe do some other sort of endurance challenge, but I didn't think I was going to do another proper triathlon.
I just
thing
don't
like
think.
this.
After watching the videos back, Kim even said to me, like, what's wrong? And I'm like, oh, he just took his time. And I was like, I get we were relaxing through the race, but like stopping and having a chat midway through the bike, like, would I let him do that? Would I let him do that training? No.
Yeah,
So-
fair enough. That.
so
I
it's
think
time to
you
race
know,
one. He needs to go through what I go through, where there's actual nervous energy on the performance and not
I
just the
had
end
so
goal.
much fucking nervous energy. I was shitting myself this entire 5 months. It's been so unpleasant. I cannot stress enough how bad this has been for me. This is going to be worse. Oh, Beck, why did you answer?
I'm sorry. I'm literally at work too.
Yeah, sorry, Beck. Actually, no. Okay, we don't have to do the tattoo. But this is the deal. We're going to shake on it now, right? If you don't achieve the time goal, you do the Ironman in December again.
Oh my God. Fuck me.
Surely. Actually, that's kind of a reward for me. I wanted you to do it.
You're going to be sabotaging.
And the best thing is I'm not doing the
my
Ironman
God,
in
there's
December.
ends. You're not doing it.
So I will be on course in
But isn't it
December.
a half?
No, you do the full. There's still the age group full. If you don't achieve the time goal, you don't have a choice. You have to do the Ironman again in December because the
Matt
fans
has got you wrapped around.
want you there. You're
I
the
love
people's
it.
champ
I'm for
now.
it.
You were run along the run course and people coming out of their houses like
They were.
body magic. We'll see how magic this body really is, though.
All right. Fucking
Here we
deal.
go. And then we're shaking hands, Beck.
Fuckhead.
We're sh-
fucking hate both of you.
He never should have slipped into my DMs. That's what that comes back
Oh
to.
my God. All right. Thanks, Beck.
See you,
Hate
Beck.
Goodbye.
No worries.
See you next
Sorry.
Wednesday for my free
I'll
dinner. See
apologise
ya.
later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Oh my God, that couldn't have gone any worse, everybody.
Well,
I thought that was going to be bad, but that
Mate.
went even worse.
Your fans, they're ready for you. That Ironman hat, you better keep it.
I'm actually sweating.
Yes.
Like, I actually got me into a proper sweat just then.
Well, now we got to get your own bike. You know, it's all happening now. Aero helmet, because if you're going to go fast, you need to be really set up this time. It's not a joke anymore.
Oh my God! Well, I was
Stu from Asics.
I was going
Be ready for this phone call.
We're going to need a lot more sponsors. We're going to need a lot more stuff coming on board.
That's it.
Well, I was going to do a big thank you at the end of this episode and say thanks so much for all your hard work and all this shit.
Shelter, we're coming back.
I'll be like, fuck off. Oh, the work never stops, eh? The work never stops.
Never stops.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not going to say anything nice about you anymore.
No.
All right. Well, I'm so speechless right now. God damn. Well,
It's been a fantastic 5 months, and I look forward to the next 12. Friends forever.
Friends forever. Well, everyone, this is not the way I thought the end of the episode was going to go. I thought this was a great season finale for season 1 of Fat Chat and the relief of getting it all done. But I've now got actual anxiety again. I'm going to have to go back on my medication. Great.
Better let your mum and dad know as well. And your old man, he's better get that bike ready.
I fucking hate you. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning into Fat Chat Season 1. It's been unbelievable. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty
Season
hectic
1. Season just started.
2. See you later, everyone. Thanks for coming on the ride. Love you all. Fuck.